So in the previous video, we made the two functions, reset, fire, cooldown, and the shoot functions. And now we need it to actually shoot. So if we just scroll back up, we have on the tick component function, right? This is what we did last time where we held down the shift key and it changed our sprint speed. So what we're going to just do is we're going to copy this code all over again and just have it in there. So now it's saying if we hit the shift key and then if we hit the shift key again, right? So we definitely want to change this so we can have this be, left mouse button if we wanted to, or you could have it be the F key. So we'll do left mouse. And then what we're going to do is also add here, instead of doing what we did before where we changed the speed, we're just going to call the function shoot. And we're going to hit save. And so that's the end of the code part that we need, right? So this should work where it just should be like, and we added it before the else because it's like, right, we're going to first check to see if the left shift key was hit, and then it's going to see is the left mouse button hit, and then else it's going to do something else, right? So, and we're going to minimize that and come back in here. And now we have one more thing we have to do before we can go ahead and test this out, and that is create the projectile. We don't have a projectile yet. So what we're going to do is go into find our C++ class, and we want to find the projectile C++ class that we made. And we need that, right, because that's the basis for what we need, but we actually want to make an instance of this, right? So we have the class, and now we want to implement it. So we're going to right-click it and create a blueprint class based on the projectile. So we need an actual item that we're going to put in our environment, and so we want to design that. So that's why we're going to use the blueprint class. We're going to put it in Jen's stuff, and I'm just going to call it BP underscore P2P project, or P2 projectile, and hit create. And you'll see we get it comes up in the content drawer with our thing. And if we look at the actual blueprint code, right, you'll notice that it has the same information that we made. Like if we go back to our code, right, and this is our projectile, and we made code for the collision part, the mesh component, and the projectile movement. We did all of that, and so you can see that's all right here. What we need to do is, we currently don't have anything in this, right? So we need to make it. So you could click on the mesh component, and we want to make it look a certain way, right? So we want the details pane, and for some reason my details pane is not there. So we're going to open it up, just go to Windows and find it. Now make sure you have your mesh component selected, and what we need to do is, if you go find the static mesh item on the side, you're going to see that it says static mesh and it says none selected. So what we want to do is we just want to change what the mesh is. So you can make it whatever you want, but I'm going to make it a sphere. You'll see there's lots of options for spheres, so we're just going to go find a sphere. So I found a sphere, and you'll see it doesn't give me the option of changing what the sphere looks like. And then if I hit compile, you'll notice then the material for that sphere pops up. And now that I have the material, I can go change what it looks like. And I like the idea of this one up here, the color grading wheel, just because I like it. It's colorful. It's fun. Now, you could also see that if you look, right, the collision sphere is really tiny in here, and the mesh sphere is kind of big. So what I'm going to do is, because I want that mesh sphere to be smaller than the other one, is I'm going to change the size, and I'm going to change the scale by simply on the details pane actually putting in here 0.2 on each one of them. And so now you can see, right, if I select the collision sphere, that's the yellow now, and the mesh sphere is inside of that, because we want the collision sphere, right, we always want that to be on the outside so it hits first before anything else hits. And yeah, that should work fine. There we go. So we're going to compile and save. And we have one more thing we have to do before we can move on and test, which is go to our third person character. And we need to change its projectile. You'll see it, if you just type in the details pane projectile, it's going to say projectile class, and it's going to have none in there, and we want to change it to the one that we just created. So we did that and hit save, and we compile and save, and then we can go back into here, and now we're going to hit play. We're going to look around, see if we're running, and we're going to hit the button and nothing's happening. And so then we need to do some troubleshooting if nothing's happening. You know what I just thought of? Did I compile it since I did the change? Let's make sure I compiled it first before we go start doing any troubleshooting. Is like I did that, and also like the two troubleshooting things to start off first, right? It's saved, right? There's no little asterisks, so everything's saved. And then I compiled it again, and then we could test it again and see, oh look, now I have a little ball that's coming out. Yay! And I have my ball. I'm very happy that I have the projectile floating around. It doesn't work perfectly, but it works and it shoots. So that is our lab for this week. Is that it was much easier to just do it in a blueprint, right? Now that we have it in code, though, we have a little bit more control over if we want to try to get it to do certain things. So I will see you in the next video.